But moving along here, as USC, they've lost a good amount in the backfield this offseason, but they've added a few, and a big one popped for them recently here in the last 24 hours as the number one junior college running back in the country, Waymond Jordan, commits to the Trojans. Originally from Pensacola, Florida, same high school as Trent Richardson, former Alabama back. And this is a guy who was not a heralded recruit coming out of high school in Pensacola, but has worked himself into the number 18 overall JUCO player in the country, number one JUCO running back. I'm going to play his highlights here in a second. Really, really interesting back here with some good feet. And he committed to USC over UCF, who new coach Scott Frost. He's from Florida, and UNC Bill Belichick, he actually visited there. So this is a good recruiting win for the Trojans.
Yeah, absolutely. A big win. And it's amazing. You go from Pensacola, Florida, which was on the Florida Panhandle, then the Hutchinson Junior College in the Great Plains, and now out to the West Coast. So he's been on a steady journey west. USC had some really good backs last year. We talk about their receivers and maybe their offensive line deficiencies and the quarterback carousel, but really they had some good backs, and they were pretty explosive, over 5 yards per carry as a team. Woody Marks goes on to the NFL. Quinton Joyner, really explosive player. I'm surprised they weren't able to hold on to him, but he goes to Texas Tech back home. So it's a big gap here in the backfield. You add a guy like Waymond Jordan, as we watch what he does on the field, this is a patient back. This is somebody with really, really good feet. The size and speed is kind of hard to tell at the JUCO level. You really got to be there in person to size him up. But if he is 5'11", 205, that's more than enough for his running style. And again, you see him kind of gliding the patience. Shoulders are always square to the end zone. He doesn't waste a lot of motion, you notice, but when there is traffic, he can make some tight moves in space. So, look at that, breaks the tackle here, but again, right upfield. So I think it's a fit. We just have to see how this, with all these JUCO kids, how does the size and speed look once he's there on the practice field down there in Los Angeles and sized up against Big Ten players. That's what you need to see. You look at the room. Again, you lose Woody Marks, you lose Quinton Joyner. You add Eli Sanders from New Mexico, a guy that was very productive at a lower level, over 1,000 yards, 7.2 yards per rush. He's going to be expected to play a major role. Also, you did have Brian Jackson in the bowl, 66 yards, touchdown, 16 carries. So you have a homegrown option, Oof. A local kid to compete with. So we'll see who comes out of that mix. USC's been using multiple backs forever, right? They were one of the first to really have a true two running back scheme with Bush and Lendale White, right? There before that, it was always like, hey, this is our running back. We got a backup running back. I mean, they were really had one of the schools that pioneered that two top back formula, which now is so commonplace. You take it for granted. So we'll see another rotation here, but just watching the film, I love the efficiency of movement that Jordan brings.
And D, now that we're on the topic of him being a junior college guy, I think we're about to see kind of a resurgence of the junior college prospect. I think the last few years it hasn't been used as much for some of these top programs, but with the recent Diego Pavia ruling, right, where they can basically go there for a year or two and not lose any of their 4 years of eligibility, then I don't see why this isn't a great option for some guys who, maybe aren't ready physically and still have some maturation to do. Maybe they're newer to football and need to really learn their position and craft a little bit better. Maybe it's an academic reasons like it used like the old days. Really, that was the main reason. But I think JUCOs are in a solid position here to kind of have a bit of a resurgence.
Yeah, the extra year eligibility is huge, or the extra years potentially of eligibility is huge. Hutchinson, where Waymond Jordan's from, this is a big-time JUCO. They produce guys every year. A ton of NFL guys have come out of this program. So it's not like this guy's coming from nowhere. This is a proven junior college producer of talent. Every school in the country keeps an eye on Hutchinson. Their coaches know what it means to get guys ready to play at the college level. So this is not a totally off-the-grid player. This is just a late-blooming guy. Maybe the grades weren't there. Who knows what his situation was for going to JUCO in the first place. But, yes, you see him dominating junior college competition. It's not what you're going to see in the Big Ten, but he's not forging a path that hasn't been done before as far as Hutchinson. There's been a lot of big time players to come out of this school, and he could be the next one.
Yeah, without a doubt. Some good highlights there, man. I'm impressed by him. Like we said in the beginning, really good feet. Ran for over 1,600 yards this year. So good get for Lincoln Riley and USC there.